Hello, my dudes, and welcome back to the Mikey and the Press Pass podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Press Pass.
And welcome. And guess what? We're recording at West Coast finally. Indoors.
Indoors for a change.
Yeah.
So that's
Pretty cool background.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Still got the fan kicking in the back over here, but whatever.
Oh, yeah, the humidor fan. Yeah, it'll be all right, though.
Yeah. So what you been up to?
I had a pretty quiet week. I didn't have to work.
At all?
Well, I had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off.
Fun.
Not really. It's nice to have money and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, I was just writing, just watching some stuff, but nothing really too exciting. I'm more or less just doing the same things.
Yeah.
I feel like I had all the time off, and I was like, I look back and I'm like, oh, what did I do on my days off? I was like, not as much as I should have. Not as much as I should have done.
Just like cosplaying as your cat?
I don't know. I made my cat Catnip tea last week.
Uh-huh. That didn't work out.
He's broken. He just has no cat gene.
You would even think like you just leave a bowl of liquid and like kind of be curious and drink a little bit of it.
You would think, but he didn't really seem to.
It's like, poison.
Kind of. It was it was sort of warm when I first gave it to him. And he's like, oh, it's warm. And then he tasted a little bit of it. He's like, yeah, I don't care.
Not even curious at all.
He's
not curious like a cat.
Just trying to test out all those cat genes, and apparently he has 0 of them. So,
broken.
Anyway, what about you? Would you occupy yourself this week?
Not too much, really. Actually, tonight we did watch Fight Island, UFC 251.
We did. We
Yeah.
did do that.
It was a pretty stacked card, but nothing to write home about. I was a little bit more high. I thought there was going to be a lot more action. Everything went the distance.
Yeah, that was. Well, that first fight didn't, but all the title fights did.
Yeah.
But that first fight between What's Her Tits and other What's Her Tits was over in like 30 seconds or something.
Oh yeah, Paige Van Zandt versus I forgot the other Jessica something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I only know I think 1 or 2 of the fighters that were fighting tonight have I ever even heard of, but that's not surprising.
I also kind of chalk it up to it always seems like any event that happens in Abu Dhabi just doesn't pop off that well. I don't know if it's like
I didn't know they had done more than this event there.
Yeah, I think this is like the 3rd or 4th card they've ever done in Abu Dhabi.
Huh.
So, and yeah, because I think the heat
just saps people.
Yeah, the heat. Plus they had to be quarantined like 48 hours during when they first get to the island, and then I don't know. I'm not really sure. Plus the travel is like no matter where you're coming from, it's like a 16-hour flight. So I'm pretty sure.
Combination of jet lag, hard to keep your energy up when you're in quarantine, and then the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah. So luckily they built an arena instead of like what they did with Dustin Poirier Khabib fight. I think it was a outdoor jammy, and I think it was like 100 degrees in the cage floor or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting. Most of the only guy I was kind of surprised that lost was Max Holloway with that decision loss. I had it, 3-2. And apparently it was a split decision.
It certainly looked that way.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like he got the better of the fight. Well, there was one round I thought could have went either way.
Mm-hmm. Probably the third?
The third. The first 2 rounds were all Holloway.
Yeah.
And then I definitely gave the back 2 rounds to fucking
Volkanovski.
Volkanovski. I assume he's Eastern European. I almost called the Eastern European guy, but he's not. He's Australian.
Australian.
So that was a little bit of a kind of. I mean, I wasn't like, oh my god, shocked, but
it was like, yeah, it certainly was a close fight.
If it went the other way, I wouldn't have been surprised either. Like, okay, that makes sense.
Yep. Not as exciting as I thought it was going to be, but well, what are you going to do?
Well, at least you get to watch your sport that you like, so there's that.
Yeah. Actually, the other sport that's popping off right now is MLS soccer. They're doing like a whole like MLS is back tournament in Florida, and then the whole. Where's the NHL one going to happen? That tournament.
There's like 3 host cities.
Okay.
I don't think they've announced it yet. I think this might kill my interest in hockey.
Really?
I think it might just be done.
Huh.
I've been waning for a year.
Huh.
Just losing interest
Huh.
and just not caring. Like I've just been basically just following Ovechkin until he retires. And so I'm just like, I'm just gonna follow Ovechkin, see what he does.
Oh, you're like the Grateful Dead fans. They just follow them along wherever show they play.
I guess.
Go Dead, Deadheads.
Oh, it's just all the drama between teams and franchises just kind of starting to lose its energy for me.
Isn't like the whole drama thing for most hardcore fans are like they love that fucking drama, the infighting within the organization, teammates, media.
I'm just getting exhausted with it. I don't know. It just doesn't have the same. I think it's just because everything just changes so much, like every year, and so Ovechkin's like one of my favorite players, and he's a Hall of Famer for sure, and he has some pretty legitimate shots at some pretty serious like records, and now he's got a cup under his belt, so it's just kind of like a race against time to see how far along he can get, and I was thinking that he was gonna break some records this year, but then everything got locked down, so I don't know. If everybody looks like they have like renewed enthusiasm for the game or something in the tournament, maybe I'll follow it, but I don't know. Just gradually not becoming a sports guy anymore. Just like listening to people talk about sports all the time just fucking drives me mad.
Even during the lockdown, like people are still talking about sports.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah. Like people just can't stop talking about sports apparently.
Oh, I guess because working here, like we're kind of insulated. There's just like an air gap between the customers and us.
Yeah.
Like just buy cigars and
go sit in the yard for like an hour. People will still be talking about football and basketball. Like pretty much nonstop. And it's like, geez, I don't know, getting tired of it. Sports in general.
You know what really grinds my gears?
What grinds your gears?
What grinds my gears? So remember a few weeks ago I told you that somehow I started getting emails, like press releases and shit? It's like ramped up somehow.
Did you respond to any of them?
I am now. I'm like unsubscribing. Like, take me off his fucking list.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you replied to one of them, and then it just opens a floodgate of, oh, this guy's replying. Let's dump on this dude.
Nope. I haven't replied to any of them. I unsubscribed to them. But before, I was just kind of like, whatever. No big deal. Or just send me this thing. But it was like, got to be enough of them.
Oh, really? Like, how much are you saying, like, in a week?
Maybe somewhere between 10 and 20 press releases a week.
Oh, wow. That is a lot.
Yeah. It's like a couple every day. To the point where I'm like, how did I get on this fucking list? It's like 3 different lists or 4 different lists. And I'm like, how? I never asked anybody. It's just like I just made the mistake of emailing a source. And they just made the assumption that meant that I could be put on their like media contacts list. It's like, didn't ask me about it. Didn't say anything. I just preferred to correspond over email and try to be courteous about people's preferences. But now I'm starting to get a little bit of annoyed because I've literally never replied to any of them, never covered any of the events, and don't have any interest in most of it because it's mostly just like the worst 2 things for me to ever engage with, which is a bunch of super woke shit and a bunch of super bureaucratic shit. Usually woke bureaucratic shit.
Ooh, cool.
So it's like, I don't have any interest in this crap.
What would be the trifecta?
That's a good question. I don't know. I can't think of... those 2 things are really high on the list of things that irritate the shit out of me.
Maybe like a press release for some product that's super dumb? I don't know.
Yeah, that might be in there. Things that are... Everybody seems to think that whatever their new thing is disruptive and whatever else. It's like, just fucking shut up.
That's the cool buzzword.
Yeah.
It's disruptive to the industry.
Yeah.
Like,
it's basically Uber for X.
Whoa.
Totally disruptive. It's like...
What was the pitch for Uber then? It'd be like the Uber of this or the Google of that or whatever product of that time. Like,
well, that's how you know that Uber was a disruptive technology.
Yeah.
Because it changed a paradigm, right? It changed the way people get from point A to point B. And then a bunch of other shit came along, and DoorDash is just the Uber of food. Like,
it's the rise of the gig economy.
Yeah.
Like, Actually, you know what I found pretty interesting is like for me and most of the people I know, they use DoorDash as their food to go service.
Sure.
Apparently, like Uber Eats is like the big dog in that space. I didn't know that.
Well, if I had to guess, it would be because Uber Eats is probably more widespread. Like we don't have, at least when I lived in Michigan, we didn't have DoorDash. There was no DoorDash. Like we used Grubhub.
Okay.
Which is largely like outdated, I think, and DoorDash is more widespread. But anywhere Uber was first, DoorDash probably lagged behind because Uber was everywhere.
Yeah, it's probably like ubiquitous because you already had it in your phone, and they just kind of stapled on Uber Eats to that system. So
I think that's probably why they're more widespread.
Yeah.
Also, they are just better.
Who?
Uber Eats.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, generally.
Oh, okay. And I've never ordered from them, so I wouldn't know.
I've known a few people that use both, and they usually say like Uber Eats is marginally better. Like you get better service.
Did they make you tip before?
Well, that
grinds my gears.
I don't even think you can tip on Uber Eats. Maybe you can. They've changed their policies, I know, but like the food was a little less marked up.
Oh, okay.
Usually you got better service, like DoorDash is. That's why I quit using DoorDash, because it was like basically one out of every 2 times I used it, there was a problem.
Huh.
And then it all came to a head when I placed an order, and I think it was here when I worked here. And I placed an order, and I noticed the second I hit the place the order button that I put the wrong address in. And there's no way to amend it.
Yeah.
There's no way to change the address. There's like a small window when it's processing your order that you can change the address. But other than that, and so I asked them to change it, and they were like, well, we can't do that. And I'm like, what do you mean that you can't do that? And they were like, well, we just can't. And I'm like, okay, well, can I get a refund? They're, no.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, can I get DoorDash credits? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, so the guy's going to drop off my food at my apartment. Yeah. I'm like, okay. So I just spent $40 on food. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so then the food should just be waiting on my doorstep. Well, let me contact the Dasher. So they contact the Dasher. And I said, okay, so what happened? And they're like, well, our policy is that if the person isn't home, the Dasher can either leave the food on the doorstep or give it to a homeless person. And apparently your Dasher chose the latter.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure he did. Right? First of all, I mean, there aren't any homeless people in my fucking neighborhood. There just aren't. You've been there. It's a residential neighborhood.
Yeah.
There are no homeless people about. And so basically what he did is he took my $40 in food.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the food. And I didn't get a refund. And up to that point, every time I had ever had a problem with DoorDash, the reason I kept using them is that they were always very good about giving you at least credits back to your account for usually the totality of the order. So there was plenty of times I just got free food on DoorDash because they fucked something up, or it took too long to get there, or they forgot something in the order, and they'll just refund the whole order usually. Or at the very least, they'll refund you like $10 of the $25, $30 order.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of kept coming back, and I'm like, so let me get this straight. Took $40 of my money that I won't get back in credit or back to my account for food that I ordered that I will not get. And she's like, that's correct. And I'm like, you realize that I'm never using your service again now, right?
Yeah, I get it.
And she's like, well, sir, I understand, but this is our policy. I'm like, right, okay.
You just ripped me off.
You just stole $40 from me. You realize that, right? And she's like, sir, well, we don't see it that way. I'm like, how else would you see it? You took $40 from me for something that I did not get.
Yeah.
And will not get refunded. That's stealing. That's what we call that. And so that's fine. I just won't ever use your service again. So I just quit using them. I don't use it anymore. Fucking garbage. But apparently, like, that things like that happen less frequently. But like with DoorDash, it would always be one of a few things. They'd forget something that you ordered. It would take a really long time. Or they'd forget some normal thing that, like, if you ordered from a place that might normally give you
utensils
or napkins, or you ordered a barbecue sauce or something with your food. Is like, it's just something would be fucked up, or you'd ask for it without onions and they put onions on it, like something like that every single time almost.
Well, it seems like some of that is the restaurant's end, right?
Right, agreed.
Yeah.
But apparently DoorDash has no such policy. Where I think I went on this diatribe before about one time I ordered a bunch of breakfast food from DoorDash from this place in like Sunnyvale or something when I lived over there. And I ordered like $60 worth of food, right? Breakfast food. So it all comes in different containers. You know, toast and your hash browns and eggs and shit. It's a bunch of containers. Mm-hmm. That's for me and my ex-old lady at the time. Or my ex-old lady now. And so the guy comes and he gives me like this fucking bag with like 2 containers in it. And I'm like, where's the rest of my food, man? And he's like, well, this is all they gave me. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But do you not, you can see the receipt, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, because there's a receipt right here on the bag. Mm-hmm. So I know that you can see that there's $60 worth of food here. Does this look like $60 worth of food to you?
I don't know, man. I just deliver the food.
Yeah, that was his attitude. Yeah. And he was like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I want you to go back and get my food. And he's like, are you serious? And I'm like, of course I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Go back and get the rest of my food. I already tipped you money for the order and paid for the food. Yeah. You think I'm just going to eat toast and 2 eggs? Uh-huh. Like when I paid $60 for all this fucking food? Uh-huh. You got to be kidding me. So I agree that like some of it is on the restaurant, but the Dasher could just
double check.
He could make sure that there are utensils and napkins and stuff like that. Or that all the fucking food is there. I would accept no utensils and napkins as like just a mild irritation. Yeah. But you're talking about a service that already upcharges you like 10 to 15% on the food, and then upcharges you like another 15 to 20% for delivery, and then another like whatever you tip the Dasher. So it's like usually something that's like $10 or $15 ends up being like $25 or $30. That's a pretty steep markup to not get the fucking shit I ordered, right? Like it's really obnoxious. Which wasn't originally part of my Grind My Gear segment, but I guess it just effectively is retroactively now. Anyway, moving on.
You know what grinds my gears?
I do not, because you didn't write on a note.
Yeah, anti-maskers. And them crying inside the stores like, it's my constitutional right not to wear a mask in here. It's like, no, it's not.
That's not anywhere in the Constitution.
Yeah. It's just really, it's getting really annoying. They see that stuff. I try not to look or like try to go to places on the internet that doesn't show that stuff, but it just pops up everywhere, and it's like irking me.
It's like a thing now. People are anti-maskers.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get the impulse to like not want to have to fucking do shit that's useless, but you know,
But anyway, it's like the whole like if they like the people that work at the store refuse you service for not wearing a mask inside the place. It's like, no, it's my goddamn fucking right to fucking not wear a mask. It's like, well, our store policy is like if you come in here without a mask, we will not serve you.
Yeah,
end of story.
That's your prerogative.
Yeah,
especially because it's a government mandate. Now I understand the impulse to be irritated that the government mandate doesn't really make a whole lot of fucking sense, or that, you know, stores are like enforcing it when like really the government's going to shut down Safeway if they don't enforce that you wear a mask. Like, no, but whatever, it's their store, it's their fucking prerogative. Like, just don't shop there if that's what you want to do. It's like you don't have a right to be served anywhere, really. And
it's just annoying. It's just like the entitlement of people is like, well, I get just like, this is America, right? It's like, well, this is the store policy, so, you know, toughen up.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things where you'll put up with a certain amount of bullshit, or we're starting to get to a wall where it's like, okay, now, like, people are becoming more acutely aware of just how fucking silly most of the precautions that are quote-unquote precautions that are in place. They're just like, yeah, this isn't really like fucking doing much. It's mostly just theater to make everybody feel good. And so we'll put up with a certain amount of threshold. You kind of just start to get annoyed with it. And then after getting annoyed with it, you just like, oh, I'm going to stop fucking doing it. And then you just like, there's only so much of that shit we'll tolerate, because like, you're not just going to go around wearing a mask indefinitely, right? Like if it was 3 years from now, you're telling me that it, like 3 years from now, if everybody's still insisting that you social distance and wear a mask and sanitize your fucking hands every time you touch something, you're not going to be like, dude, fuck this. Like at some point, you're just going to be like, fuck this, right? Like this is not the world that I should be living in right now. It's just getting too ludicrous.
Well, you go back to the old maxim of like, you go, either you adapt or you die. So You got to figure your way through life through that way. Like, this thing is altering our kind of a reality at this moment. And for people to be so hard-headed about, like, I'm not changing the way I live. There's no fucking way that's happening. So, well, life changes. So
agreed, but
there's no state in where everything stays the same for any amount of time.
Agreed.
And that's just the annoyance of people. It's like, just things are changing. You just got to adapt to it.
I would just posit that your threshold for being annoyed by it is just much greater than theirs is, because they're probably the kind of people that are just used to getting their way all the time.
Yeah. It's usually the Karens.
But there's no doubt at some point, like, you would get annoyed with that shit because you're just like, dude, fucking really? Mm-hmm. Really? Like, it's been fucking 3 years. Like, just
talk to me in 3 years.
Fuck, I don't care. Like, just let those people die, right? Like, just fuck off.
If they die, they die.
If they die, they die. So it's really just a matter of they have a stick up their ass because they're being required to, like, be inconvenienced, which, okay, nobody wants to be inconvenienced, but it's just the way it is. So it's like,
plus how tough is your life, like, or how easygoing your life is, where just putting a mask on is a big to do for you. Like, you're gonna fucking cry and just sit on the floor of a Costco and just cry about, like, my rights are being taken away.
The thing is from my experience,
it's like, you're gonna cry about that? There's lots of stuff to cry about.
From my experience, like, really, it doesn't, like, I don't fucking wear a mask hardly anywhere, unless. And more often than not, no one will confront me about it. So unless you throw a fucking tantrum about the fact that you're being forced to do it, just don't do it. And then if someone tells you that you have to, you're just going to go, oh, okay. And then, like, unless they're super insistent about it, like, you just go, okay, well, whatever.
Like your Safeway lady.
Yeah. Like, so that's why I just left. I was like, okay, I'll just leave. Like, I'm just going to leave, whatever. But most of the time I just go in there and I don't wear a mask. And people see me not wearing one, but nobody ever says anything. And sometimes if they do, I just kind of smile and, like, nod and continue walking, and they just fuck off. And it's like, okay, well, what do I care?
He doesn't care about people, so.
Yeah, it's whatever. I just, like, I don't want to be bothered, so I just.
Yeah, well, I think there's a misnomer, too. Like, it's not really protecting you. The mask doesn't really do that. It just helps you not spread. If you are asymptomatic, you're not spreading it around unknowingly.
Well, that's kind of gets into the whole stupidity of it all, really, is that it's like, if you're asymptomatic, the CDC just fucking released a report about this. It's basically virtually impossible for you to pass it to somebody if you're asymptomatic. So it's like, that just, like, I get the clashing of, like, this is the policy and here's what makes sense, and, like, they just don't jibe. And so I get getting irritated about that. What I don't get is, like, like, you just throw a tantrum about it, you just draw more attention to it. And it just seems as though that's kind of what those people probably want, is just someone to, like, I'm taking a stand. It's like, it's really not any different than the fucking SJW types throwing a tantrum about whatever else, and they're just stamping their feet and, like, I need everyone to know that I don't like this. It's like, okay, cool, good for you, carry on, I guess. But yeah.
Let's go on to overrated, underrated.
We really got to find a soundbite for that.
I know.
I don't get why people like Janis Joplin.
I don't either.
She's like, okay.
She's like low, like, it's, how do I explain this? It's for white people that like black music but want to see a white person sing it.
Maybe. That's possible. But here's my thing. There are plenty of bands that I don't get. Okay, maybe I should amend my statement. There are plenty of bands that I get that I don't understand why people like them.
Sure.
So Pink Floyd.
Sure.
The Beatles.
Sure. Yeah, the Beatles, I don't.
Yeah.
They make good music.
And you're this way with Bob Dylan, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are this way with Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
But the one thing I've never heard you say is that Bob Dylan can't write a song.
Never said that.
Okay, so that's my main passion about Bob Dylan, is he's a great fucking songwriter.
And I think, like a chalkboard, someone putting the nails against it.
But here's the thing about Janis
Joplin. Part of how, like, singing well.
But I can say, okay, I can't say that the Beatles are not talented. I can't say that Pink Floyd weren't some sort of, like, paradigm shift in music. Janis Joplin is not talented.
No.
She does not have a good voice. Incredibly fucking stupid. And, like, she just, and her voice is terrible. She really can't play an instrument for shit. And she's just,
she tries to play an instrument? I didn't even know.
Plays some instrument.
Let me guess, harmonica or something.
She's just not talented in any way. She's just like...
She's a fucking hack that died early.
Yeah. Good. fuck her. She was awful.
Yeah.
I don't get why people like her. It's super fucking overrated. Luckily, I don't really encounter a lot of people that are like, oh my God, Janis Joplin. And it's almost exclusively women, the people I haven't included that really like Janis Joplin. For whatever reason. I don't know why.
It's empowering. No, it's not. Just look at the black singers of that time. They were 20 times better than she was.
That's what I don't get.
Why don't you listen to them?
Why is it only women that like Janis Joplin?
I don't know.
It can't just be like a talent. It can't be like because she's a female artist. Because there are plenty of talented female artists, like tons of them, right? Billie Holiday and Aretha Franklin, and like just all kinds of rock and roll musicians, you know, like led by a female singer. And so it can't be that. But I don't know, like any guys are like, oh, you like Janis Joplin? Like, fuck no, she's fucking terrible. It's like, what's that about?
Yeah, it's like, when we used to play pool out in the pool hall, and they put Janis Joplin in, it's like, what is this garbage? This sounds terrible. I don't like this.
It's garbage. It all sounds. It's like
that and John Denver.
It's homogenized garbage. Yeah. No, see, I understand people that like John Denver because
why play in a pool hall? It's like the worst type of music.
Because people that
they're just dicks.
People that like John Denver are just tone deaf to the fact that other people don't like John Denver.
Yeah,
like it's like you're a category of person like granola eating, like sweater wearing, like guy that likes to hike without like an iota of testosterone in his body. You like John Denver, right? So I get
got
like
the low T.
Yeah, I get that. I get like those people. It's wired to their like lizard brain bullshit. But like Janis Joplin, I just can't figure any commonality or anything that makes remote sense why anyone would like her.
I don't know.
It's just like the whole her like most famous song is just like a bunch of gibberish. Yeah, this is like a and it's like those aren't lyrics. Like, write some lyrics.
Nah.
Perform well, sing well, play an instrument, be attractive or something. That at least most of the talentless female artists now that are just talentless fucking hacks that can't sing, dance, or write a song, at least they're cute. Like, at least you could just be like, I get why she's popular because she's super cute, right? Like, if Taylor Swift had no talent, you could at least say that she were pretty. And he's like, okay, she's super pretty. I get why maybe people would like someone that's super pretty. I mean, it doesn't make any sense why you like music just because the person's attractive, but like at least there's some appeal there. Janis Joplin, not even that. There's nothing appealing about her. I don't know. Anyway, but I will tell you what's underrated is so the other day I was making coffee and I was like making a latte, I should say, and I don't typically like flavored lattes, but that's usually because like if you get like a vanilla or just any kind of flavored latte, they just put like 40 pumps of sugar in it, and it's just like sugar syrup.
Yeah, they're just drinking syrup.
It's fucking disgusting. It's like super cloying and sweet. But like my old lady has some baking stuff in there. I was like, there's an almond extract, and then there's also some vanilla extract in there. I just put like a couple of drops in there. Bloop, 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 bloop. Let's see how that goes. And I made a latte, and it really does like taste like almonds, and it's flavored but not sweet. And so I tried the vanilla extract next time. Boop, boop, boop. It's pretty all right.
Okay.
I like it. I might like incorporate this like not like every time, but like every now and again.
Little treat.
Yeah, because I like vanilla and almond. You know, it's like just like a little bit of like flavor in there, and it's flavored but not sweetened, and that's nice. And I like it. I feel like it's underrated. People should try it out. It's pretty good.
My underrated is when you have a pair of pants.
I do have a pair of pants. And
let's say you washed your pants and the top button, just falls off and you can't find it. And but you know the pair of pants that you have in the back, along with the tag, has extra buttons.
Oh yeah,
awesome. That fucking rocks
for slacks. Yeah,
yeah,
slacks
that's awesome.
You do with dress shirts too. Like Oxfords usually come with an extra button or two.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to find a matching button, but it comes with a button and it's awesome.
Yeah, I guess the presumption is on jeans because like a metal button.
That's like a rivet.
Doesn't ever come off.
Yeah,
but yeah, I've literally that has happened to me before where a metal button came off my jeans before.
And you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, well, it's like those pair of pants I had told you I went on that whole diatribe about YK zippers or
yeah,
why is it
XYZ?
No, it's
K. KZ.
It's YK something.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Fuck, what is it? Yeah, but yeah, those like zippers. Like I'm gonna my pants. Oh, these are button fly. But like yeah, like if you ruin a zipper, you're just fucked. Like the whole pair of pants is ruined, even though they're basically brand new. You have to like take them to a tailor or buy a new pair of pants.
Yeah, you have to sew in a new zipper.
Yeah, that's stupid. Because like going to a tailor to get a new pair, like a new zipper sewn in, is probably damn near the cost of a pair of pants.
That's probably like $20.
That's
still $20.
That's still like damn near the cost of a pair of pants.
Uh huh.
So yeah, I don't know, man.
Huh.
You been watching or reading or listening to anything interesting lately?
Didn't do too much. I forgot to watch Perry Mason.
I didn't watch it either though, so that's fair.
Yeah.
How many episodes are there now? Like 4?
It should be 4 about now.
Okay. Maybe I'll just wait till the whole season's done. Grind through it.
Probably this week I'm planning to watch LA Confidential.
Okay, yeah.
And then probably try to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's on my list. It's just, like I said before, it's just like 3 hours. I don't know.
Do Chinatown first.
Okay, I'll probably one of those 3.
Yeah.
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 Oh, should be good.
I can come over and watch it with you. Come over and watch it together. It's like my favorite. Like I really like both those movies.
Yeah. Well, I'm watching that stuff. It's kind of wanting me to like buy LA Noire and just play that fucking game. I didn't get through.
I was really close to it the other day.
Oh yeah.
I saw it up. I was like looking for a new game to play. I was like, maybe I'll buy LA Noire.
I'm pretty sure you could get it for cheap.
Maybe. I swear one of the guys that does the motion capture as one of the characters in the game is Ken Cosgrove from fucking Mad Men.
Oh, okay.
I swear.
I don't know.
I just saw the trailers for it or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's like fucking Ken Cosgrove.
Uh-huh.
I don't know the actor's name, but yeah.
Oh, what I have been listening to is the Hamilton soundtrack. Like when I'm driving, I just fucking listen to it. It's like, this is awesome. Like I don't like musicals at all, but it's just like I don't know why I like it. I like it.
That's fucking weird, man.
I don't know
what it is, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Are you learning some things about the Founding Fathers?
It actually got me more interested in going more in depth because surface wise I know all the stuff, but not all the intricacies of like who hated who, the drama within it, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff is interesting. I'm more concerned with usually how it works.
Fighting of like ideals of like how the country should be run.
That's what's interesting to me. Like I'm still I haven't really been listening to it because I've been listening to other stuff in the car, but I read years ago the Federalist Papers, and now I'm listening to them again, and this comes on the heels of me just having read a biography about Thomas Jefferson a little while ago. And so it's interesting to see that like dichotomy between like Jefferson's view and then like, Hamilton, Jay, and why do I always forget the fucking third?
They wrote the
Federalist Papers.
Yeah, didn't he die? Like the other guy, he only wrote.
Well, they all died.
No, I mean like during the time of them writing the essays.
I think John Jay died during the time.
Yeah, because they were saying that like Hamilton wrote like out of the 80 so papers, like he wrote 50 of them.
Yeah, Madison.
Okay,
that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So it's like they had like basically like one view, which they make a pretty strong case for, and that was contrasted with Jefferson's view, which is the
Leave
more.
Leave us alone.
What's that?
Leave us alone.
He was just more of a. He was kind of more of a. And he lost some of those. Like history was not kind to some of his views, which was that we should kind of maintain this agrarian.
Mm-hmm. Kind
of state, and Madison and Jay and Hamilton were more for a strong centralized government with well-defined powers and a unified monetary system and a strong military and stuff like that. And so it's just interesting to hear like them articulate their differing sides, even though during the revolution they were on the same side. Mm-hmm. Now they're hashing out their differences, and so you kind of have like those 3 guys in one camp, and then like Payne and Jefferson, which is more my camp of things. But it's interesting to listen to their going through that and just not really even directly criticizing each other, but just being aware of like where their ideals clash. Mm-hmm. And so that's always been the more interesting aspect to me.
Yeah, they had like in the play Hamilton, there was like an interesting scene, a cabinet meeting where Jefferson and Hamilton were kind of just battling it out, and there was like a rap battle. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
drop the mic, oh.
Yeah, they did a lot of that where they would just like lambast each other.
Yeah.
Especially because it was like, you know, like Jefferson wasn't particularly well spoken, but he's a great statesman. And then this is part of the reason that I think that of all the founding fathers, that my favorite is probably Thomas Paine. Because so you have that bifurcation, and you have like some of the founding fathers that are in his camp, Jefferson and a few other guys whose names elude me right now. And then really you had kind of like Washington was kind of like his own thing. Like Washington really wasn't, like he's like, I don't know, man, I just fucking run this shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't really have any interest in.
Like he was pushed to power. He didn't really want to be president.
Yeah, and they were like, you just be president forever. And he's like, I don't want to do that shit.
Do that shit.
Nope. Like hand that shit over. But
I like the drunk history with Hamilton. It's like, Continental Congress is like, I don't know, positions for life.
he's like, it sounds like he wants to be a king.
I don't know. You inherit your position. Oh, he wants another king.
Yeah. Well, and that was some of the interesting things, is though he posited those things at the Continental Congress, like the Continental Congress went the other way, and he was like, okay, this is the system we're going with, and okay, agreed, and like was a defender of it.
He just kind of threw ideas at the wall.
Yeah.
And then something else came up. I was like, yeah, that's fine.
I was like, actually, it was a better idea, but like that was one of the things that Thomas Paine did, is like he was even alienated, not just like among loyalists and colonists, but like even within the group that he was in, the small group, like he batted heads with Jefferson, for instance. Like Jefferson was president, Jefferson was making the Louisiana Purchase and was trying to balance America's new role in the world as a new economic power with like this westward expanse. And so he bought all this land off of Napoleon and was like, hey, we're going to have like this new territory. Like America just got like 3 times bigger.
Like what?
Yeah. And Thomas Paine was like, hey, you know what we should really do? We should really cut out this slavery shit, man, like in the new territories.
What?
Because that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like that's really not the way we should be honoring the rights of people. Like if we count ourselves free, we should not allow that. And Jefferson, like, I mean, he didn't just brush him off, but you know, he was like, oh, that's a pretty good point. Well, on the other hand, I have slaves, and it's kind of the backbone of our economy. And
I like boning them too.
Yeah, we, you know, man, like if we get rid of slavery in those territories, we won't be able to keep up economically with France and Spain and England. And like, fuck, I can't do it. I can't sleep on that, Paine. And Paine was like, yeah, you're an asshole then.
Yeah.
You're an asshole. And this is like it's like his buddy, right?
Yeah.
Like one of his allies, like one of his most ardent like supporters, and he was just like, "You're a dick."
Yeah.
Like that's not cool, bro. Like that's some fucked up shit you're doing right there. And like everybody else in the country was like, "What do you mean slavery's fine?" And he was like, "No, it's not fine.
Yeah.
It's fucking not cool." And like,
no, they like it. Look at it.
yeah. But like to me, it's one thing to stand in opposition to a greater power, but to stand in opposition to your own allies, like that takes some fucking balls. And I think that there were several instances throughout his political career where he did that. And plus, he's a great writer, so you know, of all the statesmen, he's probably the best.
So, what you've been watching?
My old lady's been bugging me to watch Harry Potter with her. And I love her, so I'm like, okay, fine. I finally had the, you know,
I thought you were the dude that was like, if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to fucking do it.
Well, yeah.
Type of attitude. She just
Generally.
broke you down.
Well, no, that's the thing. So here's I think I've maybe illuminated this for you previously. I don't like Harry Potter movies. Collectively, there's 8 movies or something like that? 7 or 8?
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. And so I've seen a little bit of every one of them.
Okay.
But I've never watched one beginning to end because it just never appealed to me. And so I don't hate them. I just don't particularly like them. Mm-hmm. I'm like, whatever. Like I just don't dig on them. And every time I find myself watching one, I just like all of the plot holes are just so glaringly fucking obvious and annoying, and I'm just like, ugh. And so I just like get turned off, and I just like, and then the things that aren't glaring plot holes is like they're other shit. It's like, oh, this is basically Lord of the Rings, or this is basically Dungeons and Dragons, and it's like, okay, it's fine. And so I just like, I don't have any interest. It just doesn't really do it for me. A bunch of fucking kids in school and shit. It's just like fucking stupid.
Alakazam!
Yeah, exactly.
How does magic work?
And so, yeah, that's my biggest criticism of the whole series. Like, how does magic work? I don't fucking know.
There's no rules to anything.
And this is why most fantasy shit doesn't deal with it. Because it's difficult to, like, establish and render on screen anything that's cohesive or makes sense. So most magic dealt with, like in the sword and sorcery genre, is usually like it is in Game of Thrones.
It's a mystery.
You do some weird ritual thing, and then, like, some good outcome happens. But it's never, like, a direct A to B thing. And if you were going to have that, it seems like, and from what I understand, it's more like this in the books, but I don't care. Like, I didn't read the books. I'm not reading the books. It's like, it just amounts to them just pointing wands at each other and, like, zapping them. And it's like, really? You couldn't have, like, some, like, this dude's up on a hill with these, like, fucking earthquakes and shit. This is why they only have one wizard in fucking Lord of the Rings, basically. Because...
Well, there's two of them.
Yeah, but I mean, there's only one that you really see doing anything. The other one's kind of like, you know, conspiring behind the scenes. But even in that, it's like there's this big wizard duel, and what happens? They just throw each other around the fucking room.
Yeah. I don't understand how you get good at magic too. Like, do you just say the words and that's how it works? Or like, exercise your powers? I don't understand.
Exactly. No one knows.
Because like, if you first got to the school and you learned how to kill somebody, wouldn't that be just it? You just have the death touch all the time? Or is there like some reason why you wouldn't know how to do it?
Yeah, how can you?
Yeah.
There's just no,
and apparently your wand is that thing that makes you either strong or not as strong as people.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, if I just buy something that's badass.
If I'm good at, like, using a sword and I have a better sword than you, and you're better at using a sword than me, then how it works. I have a better sword than you. Like, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And so, all those things notwithstanding, like, the old lady's like, I've been wanting to watch Harry Potter lately. And I was like, she asked me a few times, and I was like, I don't really feel up to it. I gotta prepare mentally.
Could you say, like, could I just be in the same room as you while you watch it? Like, I don't have to actively watch it?
But, so we finally watched the first one. And, you know, wall to wall, the first one's probably not as egregious as some of the other shit in the other movies. There's not a lot. I will say that the pacing, even she said this, she's like, I never realized how bad the pacing and editing of this fucking movie is. Like, so much of the movie just treads water with us, like, not even really knowing what's happening. It's like, you don't even get, the word Sorcerer's Stone doesn't even fucking come up till like 2/3 of the way through the movie. And then they crunch the entire conflict into the third act. It's like really hurried. Most of it's just like, oh, they're at school and it's cool and it's like quaint in school and like, you know, Hermione's cute and smart. And it's like, okay, cool, I guess, whatever. And so, but it wasn't as, there were some things that just still made no fucking sense. Like, wait a minute. So Ron and Hermione and Harry all get in trouble because they go out after dark to visit Hagrid. And their punishment for that is you got to go out after dark with Hagrid into the forest. I'm like, really? That's the punishment? To do exactly what they were forbidden to do?
Or do you think it's like the same exact thing if like, you've heard like kids getting caught smoking cigarettes and their parents like...
Smoke a whole pack?
Yeah, smoke this whole pack, fuckhead. Maybe it's like that.
But like, what I don't get is doesn't that put them, like, they go out and Voldemort's out there. It puts them in, like, serious danger.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're being reprimanded. It's like they're being put in seriously in harm's way.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem appropriate as a response to what they did wrong. So I don't know. But
whatever.
Some stuff is just like, it just makes no fucking sense. I'm like, I don't get how this fucking works.
Well, that movie franchise is very strange to begin with because like there's no cohesion throughout. Because I'm not exactly sure if they had the same producers, but a lot of different directors.
Yeah.
And the kind of the fit and feel of movie to movie is not really, you know.
Yeah, I did notice
There's no
that.
real through line.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Maybe the first 2 or 3 they had the same director, but after that it was just do whatever.
Yeah, they're all very different in tone, and that seems weird. But it's almost like it feels like it's just cemented in your brain. Like, okay, so people that are fans of Harry Potter are like 10 or 11 years old when the first movie comes out. So you just cement in their brain that it doesn't need to make fucking sense.
Yeah.
And then just moving forward, they just don't like care if it makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I guess it doesn't need to make sense.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it just needs to make sense to me. But
what else you got here? Princess Mononoke. Oh, that's on HBO Max now.
It is.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We did a double feature the other night. Running Man and
apparently Gremlins 2 is on HBO Max.
Oh, we watched Gremlins the other night too.
Oh, the first one.
The first.
Show the gun, the gremlin with the gun.
Oh god, it's fucking good. I was like, I was laughing my ass off again. It's fucking. There's 2 scenes with Gremlins that have guns. One he has a ski mask on.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, and the other one's like Stripes got a gun. I was like fucking laughing my ass off. And
still my favorite scene from Gremlin, or actually Gremlins 2. I actually have only seen Gremlins 1 a couple, like maybe once or twice.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
But Gremlins 2 with the flasher.
Yeah.
Like, all of them are naked.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this one has a trench. He's like, ah!
Yeah.
Gets kicked in the groin.
It is pretty good. We didn't watch the second one, but I was like, I prefaced the whole watching of it. I was like, okay, so you just tell me how old you think this kid is.
Oh, okay.
She's like, okay. And then she's like, yeah, going through it. She's like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. How old is he? And it's like...
He's 25.
But it is a good, because if you really think about it, the movie is really a commentary on... I mean, Gremlins are a manifestation of responsibility and going through like a painful change, right? So it's kind of like that is what his character is doing. He's becoming a man because he's got this stunted whatever. But it's just weird. They never address it. And the random narration is fucking still jarring.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I don't know.
The dad narrates the first scene. And then I was like, I told Diana this. I'm like, remember that there's narration here. Like, okay. We get to the end of the movie and he starts narrating again the last scene. And I was like, yeah, it's weird, right? And she's like, yeah, I totally forgot that there was narration. I'm like, yeah, because it's weird. And then the dad is supposedly narrating the whole movie, but he's gone for most of the fucking movie. He's not even there. How the fuck does he know what happens? Like, it makes no sense. It's like random narration. But, yeah, we watched that. It was pretty. I forgot we even watched that because it was a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it was. But yeah, we watched that. We watched Running Man.
Arnold movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Based on a Stephen King book.
Arby Bach.
He does say that in that movie.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones.
Is that the first time? No, Terminator was the
Terminator's the first.
That's so weird that they made him say it again.
Yeah, then it became a thing after a minute.
Yeah.
He started saying it. But we watched that and Princess Mononoke in the same night. And it still holds up. Still the best Ghibli movie. It's probably maybe the best animated movie, period. I can't think of one that, like, surpasses it. I can only think of a couple that even rival it.
I've never seen it.
It's fucking great, dude. It's really good. It's like...
I'll be the judge of that.
You should watch it. It's good. Very, very good. It's a fucking A+.
Huh. Interesting.
It is interesting.
But did you know?
It was really kind of random. I was talking with my uncle today, actually. After I remembered this fact, he was talking about his Sega Genesis, and he was like, "Man, I can't play fucking Sonic the Hedgehog anymore." It's like I need to do like 3 rails of coke just to get through the 3rd fucking level. It's like super high paced and yeah, it's like a super energy. Like, I don't know how anyone fucking. This is like amped up and just so much shit going on. But Sonic the Hedgehog's actual name, this is kind of, I remember this because I was thinking about the Captain Crunch's real name, which is fucking hilarious. His real name is Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
So, like, Sonic's his nickname?
I guess.
Okay.
It's so weird that he would even have a real fucking name.
Well, it's dumb as, like, Mario. Luigi Mario. Mario Brothers.
I didn't know that one was official, though.
I think it is.
Because
it doesn't make any sense. Like, the title of the first game, Mario Brothers.
Yeah. I don't know.
Unless their last name is Mario.
Yeah.
Then they're the Mario Brothers.
But that's just deduction, right? Like, that's just you're deducing that. So I didn't know that it was like Nintendo was like, yeah, their both last name is Mario. But like apparently Sega is like, yeah, that's his name. Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog or whatever.
Or Chuck E. Cheese. I forgot what the E means. It means something. Jol E.B. You don't know what that is, but yeah.
Jol E.B. No,
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. But yeah, that was I remembered that randomly, along with a few other facts that I will lay on you now. I don't know why I was thinking about getting LA Noire.
Okay.
Looking for a game to play. And I was like looking up stuff about video games. And I stumbled across this article that was talking about weird things in video games. Mm-hmm. And then I totally remembered that, like, the original release of Gran Turismo, or maybe Gran Turismo 2. I think it was Gran Turismo 2. And FIFA 2001.
Wow.
Were scratch and sniff games.
What they smell like?
FIFA smelled like a soccer field.
Okay.
And Gran Turismo smelled basically like tires. Like petroleum and asphalt.
There's like a section, or the whole thing smelled like it?
The disc itself, I think. Yeah.
Oh.
It's really weird.
It's kind of like today with Switch cartridges. They put this chemical on it so babies don't eat it. So it's like bitter if you actually like lick it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like, bleh.
I think they do a similar thing. The coating on Sudafed is sweet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that is, but I'm pretty sure it
like
killed
candy.
one of my cats.
Oh yeah, you're telling me about that.
I'm pretty sure that, like, we had some Sudafed tablets and blister packs, and they were just like on the floor somewhere somehow, and he busted them open and ate a bunch of Sudafed, and then he died.
Yeah.
He like spat out a torrent of blood on the couch and like died.
It was the same thing with like car coolant. It's like sweet to dogs. Like why don't you just put a chemical to like make it taste bitter to dogs, not like candy to them?
Well, because I guess they probably just didn't anticipate dogs. Like, you know, like when you're making a product.
No, but it happens so many times. Why don't they now make it bitter?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Just keep your dogs away from coolant, I guess.
Yeah.
Similarly, do you know this?
Play it again.
But did you know?
Did you know?
Another one.
The cells that cause leukemia are called faggot cells.
Okay.
That's all I got on that. It's just, that's what they're called. They're called faggot cells.
Yeah, isn't there like a meal too in the UK, like faggot balls?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, they're just like, it's like pork, beef, and offal, and they make it into like a meatball, and that's what they call them, faggots.
But see, I feel like that probably is homophobic in some way.
I don't know. Well, they call cigarettes fags. They're just burning sticks.
Yeah.
And then,
But that's why. So, cigarettes are fags because a bundle of sticks that you burn are fags, which is why gay people are called faggots. That's why people used to call them faggots anyway, because that's why they started calling them that, because it was like, you know, something you would fucking burn. Like something that deserves to be burned. A gay person. It's like, it's pretty terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. Don't do that.
I always think of that Simpsons episode where Martin is like, individually, we're just a twig that can be easily snapped, but together we form a mighty faggot. And he's like trying to break all the sticks.
I do remember that.
So good.
Here Space Ghost with something to think about.
I was talking with my uncle about flat earthers, which is always a favorite topic of mine. And I got to thinking about, he's like, you know, look, I don't fuck around with talking to people that believe that the earth is flat. And I'm like, but aren't you curious? And he's like,
Not that curious.
He's like, no, I'm not curious at all. It's like a fucking third rail, right? Like, you just don't want to touch that shit.
Yeah.
Stay away from it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man, but it got me wondering, do you think that... Because part of what interests me in people that believe in the flat earth is that there is just this gap in their brain, like in a way that they think, for whatever reason. They might be an otherwise normal person, and then there's this gap in the way that their brain works. And then the flat earth thing just kind of slides so neatly into that and exploits it, and then just infects their brain with stupidity.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, like, man, do you think that that's like just like an evolutionary tick? Like some sort of weird, randomization and genetic variance, right? That you just get this weird thing in your brain. And for most of your life, throughout all of evolution of humans, that little tick wasn't enough of a detriment to the survival of you and your kin that it didn't, because it never got exploited by anything, because it takes kind of a high level of stupidity. So when you're like a hunter-gatherer caveman or whatever, like that high level of stupidity doesn't really exist yet, because it's more of a philosophical stupidity. And so you can just go along surviving in a hunter-gatherer sense of the word up through Renaissance and all this. And then eventually, when we become evolved enough intellectually, something just is configured in such a way that it just slides into that little slot in your brain and makes everybody realize how fucking stupid you are.
I think it's a kind of a multi-fold type of thing where hunter-gatherers, small groups of people, you know where the head of the dude is, the head poncho in your group is, right?
Sure.
But as society gets bigger, we have people that are for a couple more steps away from how things are run. Like, I don't know what the city manager is or what they do or what they look like. They
Right.
do stuff. I don't know the chief of police. I don't even know what he looks like.
Okay. Yeah.
And once you get that separation, there's like this whole conspiracy. Like, people that are not trusting in general, that manifests in that.
So you think it's a byproduct of society?
A little bit of it.
See, because I was positing that it's just your brain is flawed. Like genetically, evolutionarily, it's flawed.
That's what we call stupid people.
Yeah, but the people are stupid in different ways, right? And stupid people have obviously survived on and on, usually because there tends to be an inverse correlation between intelligence and physical prowess. You hardly ever come across like people like Vladimir Klitschko are a fucking freak of nature, right?
an outlier.
Because he's super smart and he's fucking super like alpha male.
Let's got another PhD just for fun.
Yeah. So like the people like that are just usually like if someone's big and strong and like so they have a survival instinct there, but they don't need to be smart because they can just kill you and take your food. Whereas smart people can figure out a way like they can convince that big guy like, hey man, like you can kill me and take my food, but like I can figure other shit out. So maybe it's in your best interest to not. And they go, oh, yeah, I guess that's maybe right. So like you keep me around and like I'll help you run shit, and like so then they survive.
Yeah.
So there's a survival instinct for intelligence and those are usually counterindicated at least a little bit. But like with this is like it's like your brain is flawed in a very fundamental way that would cause you to disbelieve some very basic things about the world.
Yeah, like they're very anti-science.
They have to be.
Yeah, it's strange to me. Like you could go do any number of experiments to prove that there's a curvature to the Earth. If the Earth is round,
Just throw a baseball.
Yeah.
Just all you gotta do is to throw them a baseball. Here you go.
yeah, and then it's so dumb. I don't understand this, but yeah, you could do simple experiments where a fifth grader can do. We have technology. You can call somebody else that's thousands of miles away at the same time. Look at a shadow, have a pole, and see how long that shadow casts. Really easy.
But those things are lost on them. And so
Yeah.
it's clearly not a matter of intelligence, i.e. how much information can your brain process. It's some sort
Them
of...
blocking that information is like that.
Yeah.
No, that's a conspiracy.
And what are their inclinations
People are
to,
telling you
to
lies.
do that? I don't... Because it's almost too perfect for like... You couldn't do it like... You couldn't do it...
Sure, the scientists know everything about the universe.
It's almost like you couldn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Orchestrate
Sure, we're
some-
flying through space thousands of miles per hour around a burning ball.
My uncle has this theory that basically most of this stupid shit is just a byproduct of people that are bored on 4chan. And they just try to like make the most ridiculous thing sound serious and sell everybody on it. So just sit back and laugh.
Yeah, remember that I was talking about that? Like it was like a 4chan troll, and people are like, "Yeah, that does make sense." Huh.
I think that last Thursdayism is probably that shit. I didn't look more into it. I meant to, but I didn't.
Oh,
It's fucking just
that can't be real.
can't be real, but you read about it like secondhand as if it's real. But when you go to the source material, it just looks like some fucking beta
GSC,
site from
yeah.
fucking like the 90s or something. It's like, that can't be a thing. You're not winning anybody over with this. But that almost makes me wonder, like, it would be like more prominent. Like if it was a troll, it seems like somebody would take the time to make like a nice website, like have it designed and have like
No, when you're
lists.
that batshit crazy, I don't think you have time to figure that out.
But that's what I'm saying is that almost lends credence to the fact that it's actual. Because if it was just some 4chan troll, he'd be some designer or some engineer. He'd be like, well, in order to get people on the concept that this is legit, I got to establish some mailing lists. I got to have a Twitter account. I got to design some pretty sleek looking website.
Yeah.
And I have videos and other crazy shit on there. That's if you were a troll, that's what you would do to sell people on the idea. But there's none of that. It's just like bare bones, fucking crazy, like subscribe to my newsletter, comes directly to your house.
Check out my zine.
Yeah, read my zine sort of shit.
I'll actually mail it to you.
Exactly. You got to pay postage, but I can get you there. But yeah, so I don't know. I just thinking about it. But you think it's a byproduct of society and not like because my uncle was like, look, I don't want that in my fucking brain. I don't need it in there.
No, but 5G, helped COVID out in their spreading of COVID.
So I don't know. It's like I posit that it's just an evolution.
It's like a mild case of schizophrenia in a weird way.
Something. It's just some sort of like it's a genetic thing. I think that you're that dumb, but it's just never been exploited before up until recent human history. Is like our ideas have gotten like big enough to like concoct something that's that much bigger than ourselves. That's stupid because usually things that are bigger than ourselves, science and philosophy, like they're toward the betterment of the world, and
it's fake because I don't understand what it does. So it can't be real because I don't understand it. Like the whole hashtag space is fake.
Yeah.
Like NASA is another. Their thing is not space exploration. It's just a cover up to hide the truth that there's no space.
It's called an argument from incredulity. I don't understand it, so it's not real.
Yeah, it's like I don't understand how a cell phone works. It can't be real.
There's no black astronauts.
Yeah.
What about,
I've never seen one.
What about these guys? These guys that are astronauts.
I don't know who they are. I've never met them.
I never met them in person.
Yeah.
All that exists is what's right in front of me, right at this moment. But anyway.
Like science is the white thing too, right? It's to keep
math.
Oh, it's to keep minorities down, right?
According to Ryan Wabash, yeah, he's the biggest fucking asshole ever.
He's up there.
He's up there. He's a fucking asshole. It's speaking of assholes, I forgot to mention I was watching some South Park.
Okay.
It's on HBO too.
Okay.
And so for some reason I really wanted to watch the Mormon episode of South Park. And then that just kind of led me down a rabbit hole. I was like, oh, they made fun of Mormons. Man, that's a good episode.
Scientology.
And then I was like, oh, they made fun of Scientology too. I should go back and watch that fucking episode. That shit's fucking hilarious. And I just went in this rabbit hole watching like old episodes of South Park, some of which I had never seen before. I was like, the fucking Britney's New Look. I had only seen part of that one. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
It's basically where they just like push Britney Spears to the brink where she like blows her head off, but it doesn't kill her. And then they just keep like Stan is trying to help her. Like it's like basically I think it was right around the Leave Britney Alone video.
Okay.
And so like he's like trying to help her, so they just like stop like focusing on every little thing that she does and just driving her insane. And then it comes out that they want her to kill herself, that it has to happen for like a good harvest.
Okay.
Like a good crop harvest. And like
a midsummer type of feel to it.
Yeah, and that's like what happens. It's like she ends up killing herself, and then like at the end they're all just like, "It was a good corn harvest this year. Yeah, it was good corn." Right? It's like that's it, but he didn't know it. Like everybody was in on it except Stan. Like we don't tell kids when they're that young because we just feel like it'll fuck them up. But like every couple of years, we select someone new to like sacrifice to the gods to like make. It's like some sort of Wicker Man midsummer sort of situation.
Cabin in the woods.
Yeah. And so we select someone every few years, and then so the episode ends where it's like this new pop sensation Miley Cyrus is, like an up and comer, and everybody thinks she's so talented. And they're like, it's gonna be a good harvest next year.
That's a very interesting commentary on society, dude. It does feel like that at times. Like the new It Girl, people just want to tear them down.
Yeah, it's a good fucking episode. It's amazing how like those guys can be so insightful, funny, and super mean at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
To like everyone. This is like nobody is safe from fucking ridicule. It's like super good. It's like Scientology episode is like the pinnacle of that.
Snowpiercer is Willy Wonka.
In the future.
In the future.
Are you familiar with this conspiracy theory? Or not conspiracy theory, it's a film theory, I guess.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah. I got woke on it. It's pretty cool. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I don't know how much it holds together, but it is interesting.
It's interesting, but I don't think it holds up very well.
Well, no. But I mean, a lot of those things that make sense, they still...
Kubrick was trying to tell you that he did fake the moon landing.
Well, that one is just a conspiracy theory, but some of them like gel really nicely, but I still don't buy that it was the artist's deliberate attempt at like constructing that narrative.
Bong Joon-ho.
What's that?
Bong Joon-ho.
Oh, Snowpiercer, yeah.
Yeah.
He did. I thought you were talking about Willy Wonka for a second. I was like, would that
why would an Asian fella make a film like that?
Yeah. Especially like, 20 years before he was born or whatever. So like, I was like, that's...
He was a child when when that movie came out.
Maybe it is connected. I don't fucking know. But, yeah. Well, and at first I wasn't sure if it's Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, not Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. That's supposed to be...
Okay.
So they're different movies, right? So they're... which the Charlie and Chocolate Factory is not good. I don't know if you saw it.
The Johnny Depp one. That's Willy Wonka.
No, it's
That's Charlie. Oh, okay.
That's the one named after the book. Willy Wonka's the one with Gene Hackman, Gene Wilder.
Gene Hackman. Wow.
That would have been a drastically different movie.
He's an incredible actor. He's just like Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder's an incredible actor, or was an incredible actor.
Yeah.
And that movie is arguably like one of his best movies.
Blazing Saddles is like, my hands all trembly. He's like, looks fine to me. This is my shooting hand.
This is my shooting hand, though. It's like, yeah, that's good stuff. Good actor, good comedic timing. But yeah, I don't know.
Got a drinking problem. Oh no, that's from Airplane.
That's from Airplane. I made an Airplane reference to my uncle the other day. He didn't get it, and I was shocked.
It's like, hey. Well,
what else? What else we got?
that runs the line. I don't know. I don't really have any conspiracy theories.
No, nothing. No. Oh, apparently the sinking of the Titanic was planned.
That's hard to believe.
Apparently, this conspiracy theory goes that there was like two ships, and that they knew the Titanic was going to sink, and they were doing it for like the insurance money.
Huh. Wow.
I'm not really sure like what the finer points of that are. It's just they sank it for but okay, but why? Like, I mean, wouldn't it have just been
That's
more?
why they let 9/11 happen, because of the insurance money. And George Bush.
But surely it would have been a larger commercial success if the Titanic had not failed, right?
Sure.
You've made a lot more money off of it in the long run.
You built something and then, just let it happen.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I don't know. That was one I hadn't encountered before. But it wasn't as intriguing to me, because usually there's like different layers of stupid, and this one's just kind of like,
Well, like the interesting stuff like Pearl Harbor, like they knew about the attacks beforehand, or there was inklings of something happening during that time. Well,
that's actually true though.
Yeah, I know, but people are like, no way, that could happen.
But yeah,
it could.
Not that it was planned, but yeah, everybody. It was funny because we didn't talk about this a few weeks ago, where it was like, some major publication like Reader's Digest or fucking the Washington Post or something, they did like a massive poll, like it was like 8 months before Pearl Harbor, asking people this very question about what the likelihood of Japan attacking us was.
They're like, oh yeah, for sure.
And like, yeah, the public opinion was like it wasn't even close. It was like 78% of people were like, oh yeah, they'll probably attack us. We've been fucking around with them in the fucking East Pacific for like a long time, and just basically just prodding them and just begging them to attack us.
I guess like the modern day equivalent to that conspiracy would be like the Epstein didn't kill himself thing. It's like, there's no fucking way he killed himself. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Just look at the evidence.
And that's like
all this is all coincidental, right? Like all this stuff happened, and looking at the autopsies, like, yeah, he got strangled, bro, by somebody else, not by a rope.
I know, and it's a joke. But when you really think about it, it's really, really fucking chilling.
It's fucking super disturbing.
That it's so obvious. But then, what'd be funny is if in like 10 years, we're doing like season fucking 10 of Mikey and the Press Pass. Like,
Hey, they actually found the footage. He did kill himself. It's pretty fucked up.
you're right there talking into the camera, talking about who's gonna kill himself. Kill himself right on camera.
Yeah.
But there's like the O.J. Simpson thing. Remember we were talking about this a while back?
Yeah.
And it was like came up with that idea for like a movie about O.J. Simpson and how he's like trying to like fix the situation.
Yeah. But
there was like evidence that came out later, just like much later, but it was probably like 10 years ago. There was this whole. I never did find the article either though. There's guys like talking about like, oh yeah, like they were in deep with all these like Colombian cartels.
I found an article, but it was very short. It was like just a blurb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe it'll be something like that, where it'll be like
I love the one where fucking OJ during all the protests is like, man, these killers on the street, we gotta put them in jail. I was like, yeah, is that right, OJ?
We can't have them out there running the streets, playing golf with a bunch of white people.
I'm still looking for Nicole's killer, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, where's that at?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Do you think that the Epstein thing is do you think that in the 60s when Kennedy got assassinated that like right after people were like, it was a fucking government, bro?
Yeah.
And that's how that got started?
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
Because I feel like fast forward some time, the point where it's common, or maybe not, maybe there won't be a point, I don't know. But like I feel like that was probably like in their day, everybody, the consensus, and then it took like several years of like people coming out and like rational skeptics being like, no, like it was Lee Harvey Oswald, like, and here's how it was him, for all these reasons. And so maybe we'll have something like that in like 10 years in the future with Epstein. I
think this kind of circles back to the whole thing where people are just kind of not trusting of whatever message that, like, let's say the liberal media wants you to think is like people think like, how could one person kill the president? He's like the most powerful man in the world, and he gets killed by one guy. It has to be bigger than that. There's no way.
Well, he was riding in a fucking convertible with the top down, waving at people
hey,
out
guys.
in broad daylight.
Yeah,
okay. Kind of stupid if you really think about it from a modern perspective of concepts of security.
And they tell you, they have the route in the newspaper a couple days before. They're going to tell you exactly where he's going to go. And you just plan it out.
And moreover, we had a president shot.
Yeah.
And killed. And no one seems to think that was a conspiracy. It's like, oh yeah, it was John Wilkes Booth. He just came up, he announced himself. Mr. President, I am John Wilkes Booth. Just pulled a gun, fucking shot him from all these people.
I forgot what old television game show it was. It was like, I don't know, where they have this guest and you have to guess why he's on the show. They have this panel of people asking questions.
Yeah. Who is it?
Yeah, and then the guess was he was the last living person to actually witness Abraham Lincoln get assassinated.
Oh, wow.
He was like 5 years old, and the guy was fucking old as shit. And it was like, wow, you have someone on film that was there when Lincoln got shot.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
But I almost wonder if it's like because it was televised, Kennedy's assassination, that is.
Not televised, I don't think. Was it?
Well, they had television footage of it.
Well, they have footage. I don't know if it was like broadcast.
No. Maybe that's the wrong word, televised. But they had footage of it, and that footage was broadcast.
Yes.
Widely.
Yes.
And so it almost makes me wonder if you could say that conspiracy theories, just like 9/11, are a response to collective trauma in some way. They're a response to collective trauma, and that's how you cope with them when it's as widespread as it is. Because during Lincoln's day, it was like you just read about it in the newspaper. Like, oh, fuck, he got shot.
Sure, he got killed, man.
That sucks. But it wasn't like Kennedy assassination was like the first major traumatic event when there was television, right? Like Pearl Harbor happened, there was radio.
Yeah.
And so we didn't...
Nightline.
Yeah, exactly. So it didn't make as much of a impression on our psyche because we didn't see any of it, except the people that were right there. But like everybody experienced Kennedy's assassination, just like everybody experienced 9/11 and whatever.
Like to the minute when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like And those are probably two of the most notable conspiracy theories: Kennedy's assassination and 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like makes you wonder, like, what maybe because of the moon landings. That's that's a trauma for some people, and so the moon landing was faked.
There's no such thing as space, so how can you go into space?
Exactly. That's why the moon landings were faked. I'm sure some people. I mean, it wouldn't even necessarily have to be trauma, right? I mean, that's a big paradigm shift. Like, you go to the moon, and it's like,
What?
makes you
That thing up there?
right? Your sense of your place in the cosmos is suddenly greatly diminished.
Oh, yeah.
And so you could argue that that's trauma to a lot of people, even though we consider it an achievement. But it could just as easily have been. It's like the nuclear bomb getting invented, right? That's was a win for the States.
Yeah.
But then now everybody had to walk around going
like,
wow, you could just kill the whole planet
Yeah.
at any moment.
Yeah.
Certainly bound to fuck you up a little bit.
What fucked me up as a little kid is watching Cosmos and that whole Carl Sagan bit where it's like, this is the picture of the Earth, a small blue dot in the sky. That's us, containing all of us right now. It's like, oh, fuck.
And Carl Sagan just had a way of making it sound very matter of fact.
Yeah, it's like
that's no big deal. It's a cool.
yeah.
It's just
that and like, it's like, guess what? All of us are made of stardust.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, that's weird.
Yeah.
What?
It's that's why I think that Louis C.K. bit is so good, where he's talking about the son with his daughter.
I don't remember that one.
He's like, it kind of touches on the same concept where he's like, she's like, when does the sun go out? Like, does it go out at night, and then how does it light back up? And he's like, no, honey, the sun is always on. Sometimes we can't see it. She said, well, what fuels the sun? So, well, it's just, it just kind of like burns. How does it not burn out? Well, it will eventually. Mm-hmm. She's like, what do you mean? Well, what'll happen then? And she's like, well, like, it'll just burn out. And she's like, I don't want the sun to burn out. She's like, that sounds really bad. It's like, well, how are plants gonna get sunshine and then it'll just be dark all the time? And she's getting all like
yeah.
the anxiety's rising, and like his solution is like, no, honey, this will happen like so long in the future that you and everyone you've ever met will be dead. And she's just like, and he's like, it's not the right thing to say to like an 8-year-old,
Yeah.
This kind of touches on that, like that you watch some science shit like that and you just like get woke as a little kid and you're just like, I don't know how to deal with Carl Sagan fucking just telling me this and like that's no big deal, like it's just
happens.
You're made of stardust and like just
We're from extinct. Or that whole thing of like, if you thought about it, it's like how much dead people make you up, right? Like,
well, for me it was realizing that gasoline or oil is made from dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, what? That's what I always wonder with people that like hardcore Christian Republican types who are like young earthers and shit.
Yeah. It's like, how the fuck do you think this guy?
Yeah, what do they think oil is made of?
God made it.
But why? Why is there like a finite amount of it then?
Oh, it happens all the time.
Like made from.
Oh, I like the whole Deepwater Horizon when all the oil like was leaking out and it was killing a whole bunch of like sea life and everything else. It's like, oh, the oil's creating more oil.
Yeah.
The circle of life, guys.
Circle of life. Yeah. Right. That's all I got this week.
All right, that does it for this week, I guess.
Yes.
If you're looking at our ugly mugs on video, you probably found our YouTube video. If you're listening to it, check out. We don't have the vanity URL yet. I think we need like 100 subscribers, and we only have 3.
Maybe next year.
Maybe all 20 of you guys.
We have 3.
We have 3 right now.
On the podcast in general, or just on YouTube?
On YouTube.
Oh, okay.
But listener-wise, we're about like 25, I think. But for some reason, the numbers are gonna keep on going down. I don't know why. But thanks, Matt, for sticking in there.
Well, our listenership is small enough. We could have everybody that listens to the podcast over for a pizza party.
That is true.
Just buy you guys all pizza.
Yeah, we could probably just like Uber eat them like a slice of pizza.
Yeah. Because of social distancing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that does it for this week, guys. as always, if you're sick, I forgot the words. Anyway, don't be a fool, eat the gabagool.
I forgot the word. Stay home if you sick, come by if you thick.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm conking out. All right, see you guys. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Mikey and the Press Pass podcast. Consider subscribing. You can rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and pretty much anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. And you can also write us with any ideas, suggestions, or horrible burning criticism at mikeyandthepresspass@gmail.com. Thank you.